Hello and welcome to Redmen TV. It is player ratings after Liverpool were beaten by Manchester City by 2-1 goal. We'll start with the goalkeeper then, shall we? Alisson Becker tonight made one absolutely top draw save from Sergio Aguero down to his left-hand side when looked for all the world, like Aguero was going to round the keeper. But his distribution probably wasn't as good as we've seen in recent games or since he's joined the club, to be fair. I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 tonight. A couple of those longer balls didn't hit the target, but ultimately, you know, he saved us a couple of times towards the end. No worries over him at all, is there, let's be honest. Trent Alexander-Arnold then, right back. I thought apart from the few crossfield balls that he made, I thought his passing to like the people down the right-hand side to him, like that ball down to Mo Salah down the channels first half, thought he was a little bit off there, but he did make some, you know, killer switch balls over to Robertson, and obviously he plays that ball into the box for Robertson to get the assist for the goal. But he had a tough time with Leroy Sané, and he's not the only right back in the league who'll have a tough time with Leroy Sané because he's incredible. All in, I'll probably give him maybe a 6.5 out of 10. I thought he did all right against him, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like he was skinned every single time, but I think Sané probably had the better of those exchanges, if I'm honest. Onto the centre-half then, Degsy Lovren. I've read a lot of stuff after the game. I don't normally read social media after the game because it clouds what I think, I find. So I try to just give my own opinions without looking at it and without speaking to anybody else. I don't even sit in the room for pause. I don't want to... If I said over stuff that he said, it's by accident. That way I know it's not my fault. So Degsy Lovren, I know there was a lot of bashing online about him. I didn't think he was as bad as everybody was making out. Listen, he had a poor game, but I don't think it was as bad as Man United last season or Tottenham last season, do you know what I mean? Leroy Sané and Aguero got in behind him too often, but they were overloading us at times. They were overloading our back four at times because of the way that they use Sané, and Silva gets up in onto Trent as well. So it makes it very, very difficult for a defender, but I'll probably give him maybe a 5 out of 10, something like that from Lovren. I think he could have done better for the first goal. I think he let Aguero get across him. Probably shouldn't do that, but it's also quality from Aguero. Virgil van Dijk, I'll give a 7 out of 10 to Virgil. No, an 8 out of 10 to Virgil. Just evident that we've seen from him, you know, when the lads were forced, him and Lovren were forced to play the ball out from the back, one looked much more comfortable than the other, didn't he? And for me, that lad was Virgil van Dijk. And, you know, he got really angry with Lovren late on in the game when Lovren plays a straight ball, wrong-footed to him. You know, he wanted that ball with an angle on it. You could see that. He was screaming at Lovren about that. But in a defensive sense, he was magnificent again. You know, he held players up when he needed to, he beat players in the air, and he forced them out wide when he needed to, winning tackle after tackle after tackle. Andy Robertson, I thought, was brilliant. Again, you know, he gets an assist on the night. He's not able to get forward as often as he does during some games for Liverpool because of the pressure that City were putting onto us. But, you know, when it come down to it in those one-on-one battles with Sterling, he came out on top. He bested Sterling there, and Sterling had a good game. Robertson had a better game. You know, think of that one where he's running in the box, he gets it with his heel as Sterling tries to cut back inside. There's a couple of them where you're thinking, no, don't give a penalty away. Robertson just steamrolls out with the ball. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 on the night. Onto the midfield, and these are the lads who probably had the hardest game, and maybe you could argue some of the poorest as well. I thought Jordan Henderson, first off, was really, really good. You know, he won so many tackles in the middle of the park. His passing wasn't as noticeable today because I think they did a really good job of making sure that he wasn't able to get his foot on the ball and have time. And that goes for Wijnaldum and it goes for James Milner as well. I'll give Jordan a 7 out of 10. Wijnaldum, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I think apart from the first sort of 15-20 minutes where he really won the ball back and was using his body and his arse and his strength to keep hold of that ball, I felt like the game kind of passed him by, and part of the reason that the game probably passed him by is because he ended up playing like left of the three in a 4-2-3-1, and it's definitely not his position. He looked goose to me, and Paul was saying it during the game actually. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. And James Milner, I'll give a 6 out of 10 as well. You know, he had so much defensive work to do, to cover for like the likes of Trent Alexander-Arnold and stuff, that he wasn't able to get his foot on the ball and start spraying passes around, which is something that we've seen. Difficult coming into this game after a couple of weeks with an injury as well, but I've rated him as a 6. Over on the right-hand side then, Mo Salah. thought he looked better when he went into the 9, to be honest with you. You know, he was using his body and trying to hold the ball up. He obviously nearly scored that goal where Ederson saves it low down to his left-hand side. I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10. I think he found it difficult today. And rightfully so. Again, I thought Laporte did a really good job at left-back when he was going up against Salah first half. You know, Liverpool wanted to hit that ball into the space over on the right-hand side. For us, their left-back area, I thought Laporte did a really good job of covering that space off and making sure it was difficult for Salah in those situations. But that one link-up play that we had first half between Salah, Firmino, back to Salah, through ball to Mane, that was magnificent football from all three of them. You know, and Mane goes on and hits the post. Roberto Firmino then, thought he looked much better in the 10. Thought he had to work very hard to get the ball signed, but when he started to drop a little bit deeper and looking for those little link-up second half, I felt he looked a little bit more comfortable probably in the 4-3-1 in the 4-3-3, but then the way that Manchester City playing, because they dominate the ball so much in that first half, it must be so incredibly difficult for a striker because you can't get close enough to them to actually put a proper press on them, and you're just running around pretty much all the time chasing sky blue shirts. And I'll probably give him an 8 out of 10. He obviously goes and gets the goal as well. Yeah, a decent performance from Firmino and one that got better as the game went on, I felt. Sadio Mane, frustrating night again for Sadio. You know, he nearly gets that goal that we've already talked about. He hits the post there. His first touch, the first 15 minutes of the game was bad. It was just genuinely bad. Like, and you know, we were joking around that like he never had the right boots, he never had his right legs on first half. And yeah, it didn't surprise me too much that the set's fallen down, but it didn't surprise me too much that he was the one substituted, to be honest with you. I'm glad that's not going to fall. I hope that's not going to fall on my head anyway. Interesting. You can't see what I'm looking at, but basically a light half falling down there, and it may kill me, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Although my New Year's resolution was to survive, so if I can't even get past January the 3rd or whatever, I'll be absolutely gutted. Probably the worst New Year's resolution I've ever had. So yeah, I did a give Mane. I'm so focused on this light not falling on my head. Did I rate him? I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Fabinho, I thought he was good when he came on. I'm going to go and give him a 6 out of 10. Daniel Sturridge I'm not going to rate because I don't think he had a touch other than maybe one from a throw-in. And Xherdan Shaqiri looked bright when he came on, didn't he? And you almost wish that you'd seen that one a little bit earlier. You know, it felt like when Wijnaldum was moved to that left wing position, I'd really liked to see Klopp make a double change, but I can understand why he didn't. And the change was right because Liverpool got back into the game, but maybe keep Mane over on that left-hand side. Sorry, Mane wasn't subbed off there, was he, at all? He went to the right-hand side, apologies. And then keep Shaqiri over on this right-hand side. That's what I would have liked to have seen. So there you go, that's my player ratings. I'm going to get into some of the comments and stuff now. Henderson -1 rating says Lysias. Anis G says Robbo and Genie Boss performances. I didn't see the Genie one, but I'm not going to argue with you. 6 for Fabinho. Lovren -10 says Sidney Fisher. Henderson a 3 says Sidney Fisher. Trent was smoked by Sane for sure, says SF. Mane struggled, but he's a threat even when struggling, says Michael FC. And that is something that I truly agree with. He really does. Like it's just so frustrating because if he had that first touch, man, it'd be incredible, absolutely incredible. Cameron123 says Lovren was awful. Perfume says we need a Coutinho replacement. Well, if you believe Jurgen Klopp's been talking like Shaqiri is that Coutinho replacement. 222 Handy said Chris loves Henderson equals 0. I like Jordan Henderson. I think he's a good footballer. I've never made any bones about that. Like, if you think he got a 0 tonight, genuinely, you go and watch the game again. Just look at every touch he's had. It's sad. Anyway, Trent's passing is quality, says Joe Swanson. Yeah, you know what, maybe I've got that one wrong there, Joe. There's probably a few people that have said as much. I thought his switch play was brilliant. I just wanted him to interlink with the right-hand side a little bit more. SJC says you've just been too generous, Chris. Yeah, you know what, I might well have been. When will Gomez get back, says Owen K. I think it's like the 30th of January, something like that I overheard I say before. Harry Owen, thank you for the blue super chat. Koulibaly and Van Dijk in the coming month, maybe. Odin Midgard. I think we're sound at the centre-back position, you know. I think, you know, obviously we've got Matip injured at the moment and Gomez injured. I don't think Lovren is our first choice centre-half, although he performed brilliantly up until maybe today. Up until today, sorry, I shouldn't mince my words like that, when he didn't perform brilliantly. But I think, you know, as a solid forward, Van Dijk, Lovren, Matip, and Joe Gomez. I think you've got 4 good defenders there. Joe Gomez and Van Dijk, the 2 standouts. Sai is now looking at this light above me head. I've stopped looking at it, and now I'm getting more scared because of that. So yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up before I actually do die. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a disappointing night. It's absolutely gutting, but we're still in a great position. We're 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Every game matters. That's what we're all about. That's what matters to me, is that, you know what, we're in January now. We've just played the champions from last season. Yes, we've been beaten, but we're 4 points ahead of them. You know what I mean? Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you next time.